trades and seeing how it would gel. Ladies and gentlemen, this lady is now one of my mentors. She is now one of my favourite mentors. She has literally come from nowhere, working 9 to 5. Initially, she was one of my students, but now I'm one of her students. I helped her when she was being developed and wanted to make a step out. Mentored her, trained her up, and now she's overtaken me. And her asset outstrips mine. She's a multi-millionaire. And she's worked hard to develop that, but it's also through her experience. It's through her overcoming fear, taking a step out of the norm, out of the 9 to 5, step into hope, being smart, utilize the experience that she's acquired over the last 10, 20, 50 years. No. And she's putting them in practice. Awesome. Until now, I now sit at her feet and listen to her. Because she's been there, seen it, and done it. And I want her to come, tell a little bit of her story, but pass on vital information that will help you reach the next stage. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Sonia Poleon.
My name was up there. That's me, Sonia Poleon. I will tell you a little bit about myself. I am an entrepreneur, okay? I don't always like to say, because it kind of makes it sound as if to say, you know, sure enough. Yeah. But my journey started in, I think about 1999. What happened was, 1999, January 99. What happened was, my husband left me. We had 4 children, and we had 1 house, and we lived in the house, and he decided that he was going to trade me in for a younger model. Can you believe that? Yeah. So anyway, so he left me, and my life, I used to be a housing officer, and after he left me, I decided, right, you know, I'm not going to be one of those women who my life's going to go down the drain, I'm going to do something with my life. And I spent a year just researching. In 1 year, I started 5 courses, and I only finished 2. And people say to me, what are you doing, Sonia? What are you doing? You're a big woman. But, you know, they didn't know what God was doing with me. You know, I was looking to see what I wanted to do. And as far as I'm concerned, if you start something and you don't finish it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a failure. It means that's not for me. You know, I really, really enjoyed psychology. And that's why I want to do this people's personality stuff, because I'm into personalities. And when I started it, there was 18 of us in the class, 17 people already working in psychology. So the lecturer took it up a level, and I was like falling behind, and I'm like, I can't do it. And he said, well, you know, these people are above you, so we've got to take it up to their level. So anyway, I dropped out. And then I decided, well, you know, I'll stick to something that I can do, which was housing. At the time, I think I'd spent almost 10 years in housing, and so I said I'll stay with what I knew, and I didn't really have any intentions of leaving housing. Sometimes I did, and other times it's like my comfort zone, it's my safe spot, so I fell back into that all the time. Anyway, so I handed my notice in at my job. Okay, first of all, I applied to work part-time. They refused me. I applied for a sabbatical. They refused that. I applied to do job share. They turned me down. I applied for a career break. They turned that down. I think there's one other thing. There's 5 things, but I can't remember what the 5th one was. And in the end, I just said, you know what, I'm going. I was a really good housing officer by the standards of my managers. And we was in a meeting one day, and the boss was saying to me, whenever I used to have my one-to-one supervision, okay, I was, you know, always doing well. We had this meeting, and they said, none of you housing officers are getting paid. And I went, what? None of us are getting paid, you know. You told me I was good at this, that. And, you know, my friend was saying, Sonia, be quiet. I was like, no, I'm speaking up for myself. I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody else. Then I decided I was going to hand my notice in, and I handed it in. My bosses gave it back to me. And do you know what you're doing? Do you sure you know what you're doing? And I worked in the office, there's quite a few Christians in, and like, you know, does God really want you to do this? I'm like, well, I don't know, but this is what I want to do. You know, I want to chase my dream, my future. And God said he'd work upon the desires of your heart. If you can think it, you can do it. So anyway, I made them convince me that I should stay because I didn't think I was doing the right thing now. And then we had this meeting, and then the manager said, you know, none of you housing officers are going to get a pay rise. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I am off. So I handed them back the notice, and I said, I'm not even staying. I'm leaving next week. And 4 or 5 months after I left the job, my manager came to my house. Sorry, my ex-manager came to my house asking me to come back. They had all these people that had applied for the job, got the job, and decided that, you know, it wasn't the job for them. Come back. So I'm like, no. I asked you if I could work part-time, if I could do X, Y, Z, and you said no, so I'm gone. And I don't like to go back. There are instances where I have to, if God says it, but in that instance there, I didn't have to go back. So then he said to me, well, come and work part-time. Well, come and work temporary. I'm like, no, I don't care. Like, are you working right now? No, but I don't care. I'm not going. Because it was my dream. I wanted that degree, and nobody in this world was going to stop me, okay? Not because my husband had left me, not because I had 4 children, not because I didn't have any money, not because I couldn't pay my mortgage, not because I couldn't put the lights, because we used to have a slot meter where you charge it up, you know, put the money in. Sometimes I wouldn't have no electric in the house, or wouldn't have no gas in the house, and I'd say to the kids, well, look, I've got no money, and this is exactly how it was. I had a car, I couldn't run the car, okay? I used to make sure I had all my visits in certain days, and on the other days I'd leave the car at home, and I'd take public transport to work, and I'd stay in the office all day and do my work. Life was so bad for me at one stage. Even when I parked the car at home, I'd walked 30 minutes to the train station, and I couldn't afford to pay for my fare to get on the train. And I'd be praying to the Lord, I'm not doing this because I'm rebellious, I'm doing it because I'm trying to survive, okay? And I worked out when the ticket officers are going to be there. So in the mornings I'd pay my fare, and in the evenings, if I got a certain train, okay, at a certain time, I'd know that I'd be able to get home free, and every day I'd be praying, please forgive me, please, right? But it was a matter of surviving, okay? So I did what I had to do to survive. But through it all, there was even times when I didn't have no food. Sometimes you'd say, I haven't got any food in my cupboard, but you can find a bag of rice. No, sorry, a bag of flour. We know what we can do with a bag of flour. You can find an egg, or you can find small tin of baked things, but the cupboard is literally bare, okay? And here comes Patrick. He had, what's it called? Dial and Buy? Home shopping services. He used to ring me every week and say, come and get this, come and get this food, come and get this food, come and get this food. He didn't know, because I didn't tell him that I was struggling, that I didn't have any food. I didn't tell him, okay? But he just used to ring me up every week and say, come and get this food, come and get this food. Now, I had turned off the freezer, cleaned it off, and just left it there because I didn't have any money. There was nothing in there, okay? And there he was, and all of a sudden, my freezer was getting full. Right? My freezer was full. So full, so now that I'm giving it to other people to bless them. Okay? Am I going off track here? Right, okay. So, what did I do? So I went to college, went to university, done my degree. First year I done it part-time. After that I said, you know what, I'm going to be in my 40s by the time I finish. So I resigned from work and went full-time and done it. I worked part-time, 21 hours a week. And what I did was I'd come home, cook the dinner, feed the kids, bath them, put them to bed. I'd go to sleep. I'd wake up probably about 11, 12 o'clock in the night time. I'd do my study until like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, go to bed. And that's how it was for about 2 or 3 years, I can't remember now. And, but I was a housing officer, my degree was in housing, and I just loved properties. I loved them. My whole world surrounded around properties. I've got 10 brothers and sisters. And if I was having a conversation with anybody and they weren't talking about properties, I would shut you down. I would shut you down. You know, seriously, that was my passion. And it was coming through. And I said, yes, I'm really going to make money from properties. I'm going to become rich from properties. Then I started to think to myself, gosh, I must be obsessed with money. But I learned I wasn't obsessed with money. I was obsessed with becoming successful, right? And when that passion is in you, okay, it drives you to take one more step and another step and another step in the direction that you're thinking of, okay? The subconscious mind is so powerful, it can only work on one instruction. That instruction could be negative or positive, but whatever the strongest instruction is, that's what it's going to work on, okay? So every day I'll be talking about not money, properties. And so I found myself just surrounded with people who was in the property industry. I had this friend, right? We used to sit up till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, talk about how we're going to become millionaires from properties, okay? And she got her break before I did. She had this house and she sold it for £500,000 and she's like, oh God, I'm going to do this, Sonia. I was like, wow, that's great, it's fantastic. And so off she went and she's like, Sonia, I had a flat at that time, okay? I bought this flat for £48,000, but I couldn't sell it yet because, you know, you have to wait for the equity to increase. But she ran with her program, but she came from a legal background, so what she used to do is buy properties, do them up and then sell them. And what I wanted to do was buy them, rent them and keep them. And so she scored, she flew like an eagle and she made loads of money. I was like, yeah, my turn's coming. She's like, sell that property, sell that property. And at one stage, like, the property was like worth £120,000. She's like, sell it. I went, no, not yet, the time's not right. You know, because what was hers was hers, and what was mine is mine. And I can't look at your dream and want to run on your dream, do you know what I mean? So, and you know, you also have to be careful who you tell what your dream is, because people will find 10 reasons why you shouldn't go forward with your dream and not one good reason why you should, okay? But it also depends on what kind of characteristics you have. So anyway, the day came when I had my property valued and the estate agent said it's worth £250,000. What? Okay. Now is the time to sell it. This is a little 2-bedroom flat, not house, 2-bedroom flat, no central heating, okay, in Battersea, okay. So I bought it for £48,000 and 3 years later I sold it for £250,000, and that's how I got my break into the property industry. At the time I didn't have a strategy, okay, I just knew that I wanted properties, and I spent every last penny, okay, all of it, but I spent it all on properties. And I bought properties in Manchester, properties in Braintree, in Essex, you know, Dartford, Grayson. It was just like all over the place. I didn't really have a strategy, but I accomplished my dream. Okay, my daughter got married earlier on this year, and I gave her one of my flats. Okay, 3-bedroom flat in a listed building in Gravesend. That's what she got for her wedding present. Okay, so now, I'm not saying I'm set up for good, but I've done what I wanted to do, okay? I also have a children's day nursery. I've had that for 6 years. And before I had any of these businesses, I had letting agents. And what happened was, I put out all these adverts, and I knew all these people who were buying properties, and I'd say to them, you know, I've got the skills, let me manage your property, let me manage your property. But, it's all right, Sonia, it's all right. But what happened was, when they were in problems with their properties, when their tenants wasn't paying, then they'd be coming to me for advice. I'm like, you didn't want to give that to me. You wanted the estate agents to run it. Now the estate agents can't manage it. You want me to. So some of them I said, okay, then I'll manage them for them. But I found myself only taking on properties that had bad tenants in. That's what we call bad tenants, when they don't pay their rent. So I had lots of bad communication with them, okay? And in the end I said, you know what, this isn't for me, I don't want to do this. And all the properties that I owned, I gave them to estate agents so that the estate agents could take all the flats. Also, because they were so far apart, okay, and it's not easy to get to Manchester, it's like 4 or 5 hours drive, so I just gave it to the estate agents. But so after the letting agents, then I opened the children's day nursery, and that's been going for 6 years. And that's probably been the most challenging for me in terms of the amount of people who worked for me. At one stage we had 11 people, working for me. Now, because of the current climate, I've only got 9 people, okay? And I've had lots of different personalities that come through that door. And I'm the kind of person, I analyse people, assess them or whatever, and because I need to understand what makes you tick. I need to understand what motivates you. I need to understand how I'm going to get you to do this job, okay? You've applied for this job. Everybody who comes to an interview for me, they always say, it's the hardest interview I've ever come for. I make them do presentations. Okay. Yeah, I make them do presentations. Now, I wouldn't want to do a presentation, you know, but I make them because I want the best, okay? And sometimes, right, people are really, really good at writing me. If I am applying for a job, I can write 10 fantastic applications, okay? And I could get myself selected for interviews. And then when it came for the interview, I'd be like, you know, I'd just lose it, okay? But all that process that I went through, going through all these jobs, it taught me lots of different skills. And now I'm running my own business, I put all these skills together. Even the manager who works for me now, she's been in the childcare industry for 28 years. She said, I've never come to an interview like that before. Right? She wasn't even sure she was going to get the job. I'm like, yeah, because I want to get, everybody wants the best for their business. And so for me, I never continued with my psychology, but I continue studying people, people's personalities. I need to know everything that there is about you. When I first opened the business, I had a partner, and she's just so not a people's person. She's just so not interested in people. And because I used to come in the morning, I speak to all the parents, I speak to all the staff, and if there's something going on, she'd be like, get rid of them, get rid of them. I'm like, no, because there's an underlying problem. We have to find out the root of what the problem is. So 10 minutes with them just reveals a lot. There are people who I think, okay, you know, some people are easy to talk to and some people are not easy to talk to, especially if they don't know me. They kind of think, oh my gosh, you know. And one lady was saying today, when I first met you, you know, I was really, really afraid. I'm like, afraid of me? I'm so soft. She said, yeah, I was really, really afraid of you. But she says, now I know, you know, you're so lovely, you know. But it just takes time to get to know people. And if you know people's personalities, you'll know how to get into them, okay? So, today, there are so many different types of personalities nowadays, but when I was at university, there was 4 types, okay? 4 types of personalities, okay? And just for today, I'm going to give them easy names, right? Actually, even if you looked up on the internet, you can find them in colours. Colours, some people call them gemstones, you know. What do you want to call them, colours or gems? Colours. Colours? Yeah. Right, okay. So, we'll start with yellow. Okay, also known as the pearl, you know, in the gems. These people, they are driven by helping people, okay? These is their strengths, okay? They are patient. They are easygoing. Don't have to write this bit down, okay, because I've got... Oh, yeah. Right. Yes. But I want to just tell them first, right? The rest of it, yeah. Right? They are team players. They are stable. They're compassionate, sensitive. They're tremendously loyal. And these people put people above projects. They're dependable, reliable, supportive, and agreeable. So, a pearl, Patrick. Who's a pearl? Pearls, the yellows, they normally speak really slowly or quite normally, not always, okay? And not everybody is going to fall 100% into one category, okay? You can be cross, all right? And pearls, they're normally placid people. You know, the people who other people want to come and take advantage of, and you think, oh, don't do that to them. Yeah, they're normally pearls. They're amiable, they sit on the wall, they do not like confrontation, they will not argue, they will not speak out of turn, okay? They will do anything that they can, right, to make everything calm between everybody, okay? And they get on with everybody. Those are the yellows, or the pearls, okay? It's all here, right? But their natural weaknesses is that they're not really decision makers, okay? They're not really decision makers. Sometimes they are over-accommodating. Have you ever met somebody who they just want to please you all the time? You think, oh, it's so sickening. Right, okay. These people, they're either pearls or they are yellows, okay. But I'll tell you in a minute, but they are also, they're they're slow to use their initiative, but not all the time. Some of them are slow to use their initiative. That's because they don't want to be out of turns. You know, they don't want to usurp any kind of authority or seem like they're taking leadership or being in charge. It's very rare that you'll see. Do you know any pearls that are leaders, Patrick?
Not really.
Yeah, it's very rare that they'll be in a leadership. Yeah, they're more servants. They want to help people. Okay. So I said they avoid confrontation. That's a weakness. They avoid confrontation, and they'll sacrifice their own needs to make you happy. Okay. They are the kind of people, they're kind of like mundane and plain. They don't normally have like, this is their appearance I'm going to talk about now. They don't normally have, they normally have natural hair. Natural, they don't really have lots of colours in. They'll probably have...
You're not yellow then.
They don't normally have lots of colours in their hair, okay? They kind of like would have the same haircut for the next 10 years or 20 years. That's the kind of it. When they dress, some people will say they dress a little bit dowdy, but they're kind of like, they wouldn't wear anything that's elaborate or loud or bring attention to themselves. They're the people that will be quiet, sit in the background, okay? But those people are really hard workers. I'm going to write this bit down. They are really hard workers, okay? And in your organisation, if you need anything done, okay, they will do it, and they will do it to the best of their ability. Right? They will do it to the best of their ability. If they can't do it, some of them will let you know that they've got problems. Some of them will try and find out the problems and do it. But on the whole, and it depends on what kind of personality you have, how you've approached them, and they'll be a little bit like, oh, yes, I've got it, but it's not quite finished, or I need some more time, you know. But they are really, really reliable. If you want them to come to work at 6 o'clock in the morning and you know that your business don't open till 7 o'clock, they will be there. They'll do practically anything you ask them to do. They're not the people that, I personally think, you know, you shouldn't take advantage of their nature, okay? But it's easy to take advantage of their nature. Okay, that is the pearl. They kind of like jazz music, or what's the other one called? Like Beethoven, classical music. Yeah, calm nature, personality. They're family orientated, very peaceful, and normally they are softly spoken as well. There are some yellows who I know that speak really fast. Okay, but yeah, speak really fast. But they are still pearl or a yellow. Okay, they normally can't say no. They can't say no. No, say no. They can't say no. They kind of like gardening. You know, like, yes, it's tranquil and therapeutic. They like stuff like that. Get them to come and do your gardening if you're not a pearl. So by the end of today, I should tell you this. By the end of today, you will be assessing other people's personalities, right? For that, I can guarantee you, for the next month or so, you will be, everybody you come into contact with, you will be assessing their personalities. I do it all the time. I know what everybody is, okay? I can have one conversation with you, and I'm going to show you how to have a conversation with somebody, right? And find out how they are, okay? All right. So then there is the emeralds, or the greens, the emeralds, okay? These people are driven by, you don't have to write this bit down, okay? They are driven by facts and figures. Facts and figures. Okay. You can also tell what kind of a yellow or a pearl. They'll probably be a nurse. Yeah, in some kind of caring environment. People in my nursery, some of them are pearls or yellows. Yeah, they care for people. They naturally have that caring instinct. Okay. Now, the emeralds, or the greens, they are driven by facts and figures, okay? They want detail. They want so much detail, right? These people cannot function without details. Have you ever asked somebody a question and they can't give you a yes or no answer?
Polygon.
Yeah, most of them are emeralds. Most of them are greens, emeralds. They are, okay? You can tell what kind of environment they will work in. People who work in the banks, accountants, computer analysts, lawyers, yeah, facts and figures and details. They are details driven. And if you are an emerald, okay, sometimes you'll find it really hard to make a decision only because of the amount of details that you require. Because if you haven't got that detail, you can't. I'll tell you a story once. When I was a housing officer, okay, the lady who used to work on the reception, okay, she was an emerald or a green, okay. And you're going to tell me what I am, okay. And she used to really, really, really annoy me. and the worst thing is, okay, people used to think we were sisters, okay. I'm not even related to her, okay. And it got so bad that she used to irritate me so much that I would say to her, look, for us to get on in this organisation here, you need to email me, right, or speak to my manager. Now, don't even put a note on my in tray, because if I see it there, I'm putting it to the bottom of the pile, right? Either email me, and when I get down to the emails, I will deal with it, or speak to my manager, okay? We don't need to communicate. So for ages, for months, we worked together, okay, until, and without speaking. If it was anything to do with business, I'd say so-and-so, you know, so-and-so to give me this, or have you got that, blah, blah, blah. But I'd keep it to a real minimum because she irritated me so much, okay. When I used to have my supervisions with my manager, okay, this is the emeralds, okay, of the greens. They normally work in the finance department. Yeah. Have you ever been into a finance department at any organisation?
Yeah.
You can hear a pin drop in there, okay, because they're all into their figures, yeah. And when you go in there, they need to know everything about everything before they can give you an answer. And I'd be like, oh, Chris, could you tell me if Patrick's paid his rent this month? Chris can't tell me if Patrick's paid his rent this month. Well, he paid his rent in June, he paid his rent in July, in June he paid X amount, in July he paid, I don't want to know, this is August, I want to know if he's paid his rent in August, right? And he used to really, really irritate me, right? Every month when I had my supervision meeting, I would get in trouble for speaking to these people out of terms, okay? This is because I didn't understand them, they didn't understand me, I didn't know anything about this, okay? And then what happened was we went on this course. When we went on this training course, right, it was a customer care training course. This is where everything, the penny just clicked. After that, me and the woman, we shook hands, we agreed that from now on I understand why I can't get on with you. I know what makes you tick. I know when I'm dealing with you, I have to give you all the details that you need because that's how you operate. And when you're dealing with me, right, you don't give me no details. You just tell me what, yes or no, just tell me what I want to know, right? And that's how I started to, after that I started to assess everybody. So I know after today, right, you're going to be assessing people's personalities. And this is just so important everywhere you go. Even when you go into the shops. If I go into a shop, right, and I'm dealing with a yellow or a pearl, no way, Jose. Okay. You have to be able to serve me. You know, I'm not a detailed person, I just need to know, yes, I need to know the facts. I don't need to know the details, okay? So leave the meaty bit out of it, it's not for me. Anyway, so, their strengths are, they are accurate 99% of the time. They are analytical, you don't have to write this down. They are analytical, they are details orientated. Yeah, I've got it here for you. Okay. Right. They are industrious. Somebody said they're compassionate. I don't know about that one. Okay? They are extremely orderly and methodical. They've got high standards and they're not accepting anything less, right? And they control their environment. They control their environment. Those are their strengths, okay? Their weaknesses are they are too hard on themselves, okay? They are critical of others. And when they are critical of others, okay, they can be, there's constructive criticism and there's just criticism. Sometimes the criticism can be sharp like a knife. Yeah? they're a perfectionist, and because they're perfectionists, they can't always work to your deadline, for example. If they're doing something for themselves, they probably can work to their deadline, but if it's something for you and you need that deadline, because they are such perfectionists, sometimes they can't work to deadlines. They are overcautious, okay, and they won't make decisions without all the facts and all the details and all the figures, okay? And they normally think that they're always right. And I say they're emotionless. Right? And also, this is another weakness of theirs. They can't deal with people who are crying, who's got a problem. You know, like if you're in the office, okay, and somebody's crying.
Oh gosh.
Go and speak to so-and-so. My other business partner, that's exactly how she would. She'd be like, Sonia, you go and deal with them. Oh, I can't deal with this, you go. That's exactly how she was, okay? She was, I'm not saying that she wasn't nice, but, you know, my personality is so different from hers. And what happened when I went on that training course was, because I had started to understand everybody's personality, I started to deal with people according to their personality. Whereas before, I'd be like, okay, I want X, Y, Z, right? And this is what I used to do. If I came to your office and I'd ask you for a piece of information, and you said to me, yes, Sonia, I'll give you that information in 10 minutes. I will sit down beside you, right? Knowing full well that I'm making you nervous, okay, or probably intimidating you, okay, and I'll wait there. But no, so, yeah, it's all right, I'll wait until you've finished, right? And because you're so nervous about me being there, right, you tell, oh, I'll just do it now. And give me what I want, just to get rid of me. To get rid of me, right? And it's not really, when I look at it now, I think to myself, wow, I really used to treat people like that, you know. And the thing is, I'd come in and say, right, Shola, can I have A, B, C, right, and I need it within the next 15 minutes or so, okay? Do you want me to wait for it, or do you want me to come back for it? And you'd be like, okay, if you come back for it. And then I'll say, okay, and then it's all right, you know, I'll just wait for it. Because of the kind of personality that I had, right, okay, right, I was so, how was I, Patrick? Patrick knows how I used to be. You know, I used to be so brash, so rude, and he used to say to me, why are you like that? You don't have to be like that. I don't care, this is how I am. But the more I started learning about the people, the more I knew how to adapt myself, and I deal with people accordingly. You know, there's still a bit of that in me, but I've tamed it.
The danger is when you meet someone who's still in this green mode.
Yeah.
When they come into contact with you,
Yeah.
and they don't read people, and they rub everybody up the wrong
No,
way.
but you see, the thing is, right, if you yourself don't read people, you can rub everybody up the wrong way. Everybody wants the airspace, everybody wants to be listened at some stage, okay? Everybody's got something of importance to say, but, you know, how do you taper who's going to talk or what they're going to say when they're going to say it? Some people, you give them the microphone and they're not even going to pass the baton on to anybody else, you know. But when you start to understand people's personalities, you understand how to deal with them. And that was me. When I was dealing with accountants, they stressed me out, because they wanted all these details. And I'd be like, no, I'm not an accountant, you're the accountant. Do you know what I mean? Even now, okay, right, I've got a new accountant, okay. The one that I had before, right, I'd be like, even when I first met him, right, I said to him, listen, I'm not an accountant, yeah, I work in business, okay. The reason why I'm here is because this is your specialist area, okay. So when you're speaking to me, okay, please take into consideration that I've never done this work before, I can't do it, I don't want to do it, it's not my life, okay. So you need to speak to me in layman terms. But, you know, he's an emerald, okay? He'd be like, well, why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? Why? And one day I had to say to him, you're stressing me out. You're stressing me out, okay? Because I'm trying to be calm, okay? And he's like, but you haven't done this. And what I found was, the more I'm calm with these people, the more they're stressing me out. So, right. I just have to cut them off or ask somebody else, listen, can you just give them this? No, you know what I'm talking about, Andy. Right? So I don't, you know, I try to explain to people, this is how I am. I don't require a lot of detail, okay? I'm a little bit impatient.
Just do it.
If it's not my area of knowledge, I'm done, to treat me like a child, you know, but sometimes they just do not understand. Anyway.
Well, I just point out what said. It's not about changing their set, that's their colour. But it's how we understand or know. We adapt to that. And so if we get a relationship going, you just gotta suffer it, man.
Now,
just like how people suffer you and your seamstresses.
Oh no,
is this interesting?
It is.
No, it's not.
It is. It's important. It's very important, isn't it?
Absolutely, especially in making your team work.
No, Patrick said a team. Was it Dreamwork makes a teamwork? You have to understand that team. I'm going to tell you about my team in a minute. Okay.
Do you ask?
No, I was just going to say, no, I'm loving this, and I'm just like staring at Sonia like it's because, although I've never been into star signs, in the fact that I pick up the newspaper and Aries says blah blah blah. What you're saying is an answer to what I've always been all my life. It's like, how do I get to understand these people? I'm not saying they're Aries or Scorpio or whatever, but what you're saying, that's it. You're put in a classroom. Yeah.
But let me just explain this to you. Right, let me just
No.
The thing, it's okay. Star signs is okay.
But some people do that. They
That's
say,
right.
Libra is always like
Right,
that.
yeah.
Aries is
Capricorn.
always-
That's what I'm saying.
Scorpios will always,
That's why I'm looking at you.
But let me tell you this, right? Even though people could be Aries, they could be whatever star sign they are, right? There's still these 4 categories of people.
Yeah.
I know people who were born on exactly the same day, okay?
Yeah.
And they are different, totally different, but there's some core values in them that are the same, right? And I can normally pick out an Aries, right? If I have a conversation with people or I can observe them for a while, I can pick out an Aries. If you're not Aries, I can pick out a Leo or I can pick out a fire sign, yeah? And all this, it all correlates with each other, okay? And it is important because people require different things, even if you were born on the same day, in the same year, okay, but different parts of the world, okay, you'll be different because, you know, the sun's got a lot to do with, you know, your personality, okay. So if you're born in the Scandinavian countries where it's cold all the time, but there'll be some values in there that's going to be the same. There's going to be some traits that will be the same, okay. And these are just 4 main areas of people's personalities. You know, Belgium, who else is there? Adar, there's quite a few psychologists who have extended this now. Now they say there's 9 areas, but these are the main ones where they derived from. Okay.
Enneagrams or something.
Sorry?
They're called enneagrams.
No, people call them different. I've heard them called estetos. Estetos. I don't know what's an esteto, but no, people call them different things, but I just say personality traits. Then there's the blue or the sapphires, okay? These are the ones that Patrick was talking about with the orange hair. Right? These people here,
What colour?
sapphires,
What
blue,
colour?
blue, yeah, they will correspond with the colour of the stones. Yeah? They are enthusiastic, they are optimistic, they are excellent communicators, right? They are emotional, okay? They are passionate. You don't have to write this down, I'm going to give you this. They are passionate, right? They are motivational and inspirational, okay? They've got good people skills, right? They are dynamic. What drives them is fun. If they don't have any fun in their life, in their working environment, they are not going to find work exciting, okay? So, you would never find a sapphire working in, well, it'll be very rare for you to find a sapphire working in the accounts department, that's for sure, okay? Because their job has got to be exciting all the time, okay? They love fast music. They are the ones, if there's a party, they are going to be the first ones to be there. Yes, if there's a party, they love loud music, okay? They normally wear bright colour clothes. If you look in the streets, okay, right, and you see these ladies with orange, you know, like multicoloured tops, okay, or whatever, and the biggest hairdo, the loudest colour, you know, they are the people, you know, fun runs their life. If they're not having any kind of fun in their life, they're not going to be themselves. They can't function without fun. They cannot function without any kind of fun in their life, okay? They are unrealistic. Yeah, because they live in a dream world. They live in a dream world, okay? I have this lady who's working for me, okay? When she came for her interview, right, what we done was we done an assessment day. So we invited everybody to come down. It was a Saturday. We invited all, well, not all the children, some of the difficult children and some of the easygoing children to come down on a Saturday. And it was just like a normal working day. And we got these people down there, and they had to come and work with the children. We was observing them. And this lady, she was straight, I just knew she was a sapphire. She had on bright pink nail varnish, okay? She had red, what do you call that? No, what do you call that?
Weave on.
Weave on, yeah.
Yeah.
She had like a red weaver. She was like, with the children, she just got down onto their level and she was playing with them. She was absolutely loving it. Every moment of it. She excelled in everything that in every area that we tested her, she came out first above everybody, okay? When we gave her the job and she started off fine. But what happened was, I realised she wasn't getting down to grassroots with them. She wasn't really enjoying it, so I called her into the office and I asked her, look, you know, when you came for your interview, you know, you shone above everybody else. What's happening? And I said, I don't see you doing any messy play with the children now. Children love messy play. It's all requirements, they've got to do it. Oh, I don't like getting dirty. I don't want my fingernails getting dirty. I was like, oh my goodness. You know, so I said to her, okay then, right. They have to have messy play, okay? So if you don't want to do messy play, then you have to tell me what other activities you enjoy doing, okay? There's another member of staff who they can do the messy play with, okay? But she has to tell me what she enjoys doing. She actually didn't know, okay? So what I did was, I got this book out and I said to her, look in this book, there's got to be at least 2 or 3 activities in here that you like doing. I said, there's no fun in your life, you're making it, I can see that you're now bored. You're bored. It's kind of like mundane for her to come to work. She really doesn't want to be there. And I had to show her that she didn't understand what had happened to her, but I had to show her that she's not having fun anymore. That's why her job is not, her job has become boring to her. And so I said, if you make it fun for the children, it will be fun for you. Or if you think to yourself, okay then, well, I'd love to do this. If you'd love to do it, of course the children will love to do it. And then that's how she started to get them back into it. Okay. But if I didn't understand her, I would have just thought, she's lost it, she's lost the plot, she don't want to work here anymore. But because I understood her personality, I knew how to re-engage her again with the children. So, they love fun. They are normally a team player and they are problem fixers. They love rewards. They love to be praised. You have to tell them how wonderful, how great they are. That's how they function, okay? If you're not telling them how... You know some children now... Have you ever heard of ADHD? Right, okay. Some people could be classified... I have a daughter, okay? And when she was young, I heard about this ADHD and I went to these seminars, okay? I think, yeah, there's like 14 symptoms and she had 12 of them. Like, yeah, she's ADHD and I've got to get these written in tablets. And I took her to the doctors, I took her to the hospital. They wasn't giving me these tablets. She got, you know, she used to go to this private school, okay? Right, I used to pay my money to send her to this private school. And they kicked her out. They kicked her out because school wasn't fun for her. They didn't understand. I didn't understand at the time. I'm like, you're worthless because, you know, make me spend all this money and... But what happened was, okay, she wasn't having fun, and when they don't have fun, they get bored. When they get bored, they start getting themselves into trouble, okay? She didn't really have ADHD, but, you know, people come up with these weird and wonderful new diagnoses. And then they want to stick you in it, you know, give you that label and give it to you, you know. Oh yeah, there's some chemical that the brain doesn't get. When the brain doesn't get that chemical, they have a spasm, okay, right? And I was like, yes, I need that Ritalin for my daughter, I need that Ritalin. Thank God that, you know, there was no way opened, you know, the doctors wasn't giving it, the hospitals. I even took her to psychiatrists and thought there was something wrong with her. But she's a sapphire, and if there's no fun in her life, she's depressed. If there's no fun in their life, they become depressed. They are attention seekers, right? That's why they're so loud and, do you know what I mean? They want to be seen, you know. Have you ever seen those people that come from Jamaica? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when I went to Jamaica last year, August, okay, right, I went to Kingston, right, and I walked through this market and I saw all these people shouting and carrying on, you know, just selling their stuff, you know, shouting, you know, this to sell, that to sell. And there was this little woman on the side, and I swear she's a pearl, she's a yellow. She said, book and pen, book and pen, book and pen, book and pen. And then, right, people would be walking past her. Then I'd get a bloke, matches, matches, come buy matches, come buy a box of matches. And then he'll give you a reason why you should buy that box of matches. I've got family at home, I've got children at home, they haven't been fed, I need some money, you know, I'm just doing a little work, I'm trying to earn an honest living. And that's how they work, right? The majority of them are sapphires, right? They are up in your face. They are attention seekers. They have got something to prove in life. They are going somewhere, they're on a commission, okay? And they're not stopping until that mission has been achieved, okay? But it's still got to be fun. It's still got to be fun. If it's not fun, no, they're not going to be themselves. So, they are not really detailed orientated person. Most of them are disorganised, you know. Most of them are disorganised. My daughter, her bedroom used to be a mess, and I'm like, tidy this up, tidy up, tidy up, tidy up. Yes, mum, yes, mum, yes, mum. The only way I could get her to tidy her bedroom, right? I don't know if anybody of you know Puff Daddy. Yeah. You know, back in the 90s, she was a big Puff Daddy fan. You know, bedroom wall. In my days, it was Michael Jackson, right? She had Puff Daddy posters everywhere. I won't rip them down. I take them down, okay, and make her think that I ripped them down and put them away, okay, until that bedroom's tidied up. And one time I did tear them down and threw them away, but she went crazy. That was her world. That's what, you know, because it's like the media world, right? They put themselves into that situation that she was going to become a rapper, she was going to make all these millions of dollars. They've got this really wonderful imagination, and we have to know how to harness it, how to channel it. And they can be really good in your company. They can be really good for you. If you are a shy person, you can't talk to people in your organisation, they'll be the first ones that, they'll be good greeters. They'll be good greeters, okay, because they love people, okay? But sometimes, this is one of their bad traits, they can just talk too much. Too much. Right. So, sapphires. They can also think outside the box. They will always promote other people, okay, because they are people person. They're really confident, they solve problems, and they're loud. Loud. Yeah. And because of their dress sense, they're normally always late. They're the ones that come in late and they want the front seats. Come in late and they want the front seats and looking all beautiful, G5. Yeah, okay. So then there's the rubies or the reds, okay? And the rubies are driven by, do I have to write this down? Challenge. Challenge, 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 challenge. Challenge, 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 right? They are very decisive, they know what they want. They are goal-orientated. They are achievement-driven. Okay, they get results. Okay, they are independent. They are risk-takers. They take charge. Some people just come in, if there's a problem, they'll say, oh yeah, why don't we do this or do that? Yeah, they take charge, right? And they're very good at using their own initiative. They are self-starters, okay? They're not necessarily finishers. So if you gave them a project to do, they could start it very well, but they wouldn't necessarily finish it because they get bored real easy. Ring the bell, is it? Yeah. They are persistent, okay? But they're persistent at things that they want when it suits them. So they're not going to be persistent in every area of their life. It will just be whatever they want, they'll be persistent at. They won't take no for an answer. Okay? They are efficient in most things that they do. Efficient? Gosh. They do like excellence. If they're going to do something, they're going to make sure everybody knows about it. Okay? They're competitive. They are driven by completing projects. not driven by people. They're driven by completing projects, okay? They enjoy challenges, but they always also enjoy various different activities.
That challenges.
Changes.
Changes, right.
Well, they enjoy challenges.
No, they do, but that
Yeah.
word was changes.
Yeah, they enjoy a variety of things and changes. Yeah. Their weakness is that they are impatient, they are blunt, they can be poor listeners, impulsive, demanding, may view projects more important than people. Yeah. Can be insensitive to other people's feelings, may run over others because they're slow to act or slow to speak. Yeah. They quickly get bored of routines and the mechanics. Right. The Ruby is what I am. Okay. And most of this is me down to a T. Okay. I can be decisive, I can make a decision just like that. If you're going to sell me something, okay, and it sounds good, I'm going to jump on board straight away. I'm not going to wait to get all the facts and the figures and all the other details. I can make a decision just like that. Okay. When I used to buy my properties, okay, I remember one time I was buying this property in Gravesend. It's a one-bedroom flat, and my friend who had already gone on before me, this was going to be the first or the second one that I was going to buy. I said to her, come and have a look at this flat with me. And she said to me, you don't want that, you don't want that. I think it's about £50,000, £52,000. No, yeah, £52,000. You don't want that. You couldn't even stand up in the hallway and stretch it. If I went like this, I'd be touching the wall or the doors, you know. That's how small it was, right? But I did my research, okay, because I used to be a housing officer, and I was a housing officer in the Gravesend borough. And whilst I was there going to visit my tenants, I'd go to the estate agents, I'd book some appointments, I'd go through some properties, and feed my passion and feed my imagination, okay? And so this property came up, and it was on the first floor, it was in a listed building, and I was really thinking of buying it, but I was a little bit nervous, so I called her because she had a little bit more experience than me. She said, you don't want that, Sonia, you don't want that. And I thought to myself, wow, she's in the property industry, she's supposed to be a friend. I said, but you know what, her vision is different from my vision. So I bought that flat, okay? And I just, even though she had said no, my decision was yes, I'm buying that flat. And a few years later, I sold that flat for £90,000. Now, if I had listened to her, right, I would have lost £40,000 because that's how much I make, was £40,000. Okay, so I can make decisions normally. Yeah. Goal orientated. My goals are all around me and what I want in my life, and so yours should be as well. Okay, so if I make plans, I will stick to those plans. Okay, and I have to achieve those goals. For me, if I don't achieve those goals in a certain time, I know that not everything goes according to plan. I might put it off and I might wait, you know, give it some more time. But sometimes it can make me disheartened because I like to see growth and I like to see growth quickly. I used to do knitting, okay, years ago in the 80s. I used to knit. You know, you get them really thin knitting needles like that. I used to do that. I'll knit like 10 rows. I can't see anything. So I said, right, I'm going to make myself a jumper, and I bought some great big fat chunky needles because I needed to see growth. I need to see growth, that's how I am, okay? And you have to understand yourself. Yeah, and I'll be able to finish the jumper because I can see growth, but with the little needles. I'm achievement driven, okay? Am I achievement driven? Well, yes, I am. I do. When I was going to university, I wouldn't stop until, you know, even at the last year, I was like, oh God, this is getting on my nerves now, but I started, so I'll finish, you know. Initially, when I first started university, all I wanted was the picture in the gown and the front. That's what I want that. I could see that, I could visualise myself in it, right? By the time it came to the end, right, I was like, I don't care about that, I just give them my certificate, right? But also what happened was, that's when I had my challenges and I didn't have any money. My daughter was, She was graduating the month before me, okay? And so it was decision, do I pay for her graduation or do I pay for my graduation? So I said, well, do you know what? You know, I'll pay for your graduation, so I don't care about mine. And then she's like, oh, Mum, no, but you need to. I said, no, it's not important. By then it didn't matter. Just give me the certificates, you know? Yes. And we get results, right? And I am a results-orientated person, yeah? I like to see results. If I can't receive results quickly, okay, then I'm not on the long string. Yeah, the long string is for me, okay? Independent, very, very, very independent. Independent, so independent that I think it is, what is it, Patrick? It's kind of like, I think I'm in like solitary confinement company, what do you say? You know, yeah, because I do everything myself, okay? I'm so independent, I don't need anybody to, very rarely that I need people to do. Yeah, but it's not really good. You know, it's not really good because then you become a loner in life, and that's what I found of lately. You know, how many times I say, oh, I've got no friends. Well, I'm not surprised I've got no friends. I need a sapphire in my life. I need a blue person who's going to say, come on, Sonia, let's go and have some fun. So all these personality traits, they can work together for something else. I need the emeralds, right? The emeralds are going to give me details, okay? If there's something going on, can you find out this, that for me? Okay, right. When you give it to me, I choose which bit I'm going to read, okay? The accountants, I can't do that bit there. I give it to them to do. Do you see what I'm saying? So everybody is needed in your organisation, right? Take charge, a risk taker. Wow, I've taken some risks in my life. I have taken different kinds of risks. Even the other day I was speaking to my children and I said, last year I went to America, and when I went to America I went to this conference, okay, and I went all the way to Louisiana on my own. I decided that when I was staying with a friend in Philadelphia, then I took the plane to St. Louis. When I got there, I decided I was going to take public transport instead of getting in a taxi. I got on the train with my big old suitcase, you know, yeah, an opportunity to see the countryside. All these yobs came on the train. I was like, oh my God, you know, they have all these gangs in America, and I had on this New York hat, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I wonder if they don't like New Yorkers, right? And I'm like, Lord, please God, keep me, save me, you know, pour your blood over me. And I was praying really hard because, right, I had put myself in this position where I didn't need to be. I was on my own. When I got off the train, I didn't even know where I was going. I got my suitcase. Excuse me, do you know where this house is? Do you know where? Right, Lord, I'm never going to do that again. But really, that's the kind of thing that I do because there's a bit of excitement to me. I have been to Brazil before, right? I went to Guyana and I heard that Brazil is next door. That's right, okay. What is the cheapest way of going to Brazil? It's by getting a coach, right? It cost me £20. It took me 24 hours to get there, okay? Wow. When I got to the border, it took 15 hours to get to the border. When I got to the border, okay, I had to get in this like little dinghy, right? This little boat. It had a hole in it at the bottom. I was like, oh my God, it cost £1 to go across. It cost £1 to cross over, right? So what am I doing, right? And I said to this guy who was in the boat, you know, the boat only takes about 5 people, right? So there's this coachload of people. The boat's going back and forth, okay, right? And I said to this guy, I feel like I'm in a documentary. My hair was all, my hair is dyed red right now, right, okay? But at the time it was black and it was dirty because of all the dust. It wasn't even a proper air-conditioned coach. The coach was driving like 100 miles an hour down this lane. It looked like it's in Caribbean, right? They had cut away a road, so only one car could go down. I was like, Lord, if a car came this way, we'd be dead. But then I thought to myself, like, it's got to be one way, because he was charging down there like a bat out of hell. Okay, and these are the kind of, I don't know, on my own, and these are the kind of things that I do. And then afterwards I think to myself, oh my gosh. But the guy that I said to, I feel like I'm in a documentary, he said to me, you are. He said he was travelling the Caribbean and he was writing a book, okay? And he said, you are going to be in my documentary. I'm like, no, I feel like I'm on Michael Palin. I feel like I'm on Michael Palin. He said, no, but you are in a documentary. I was like, well. Afterwards, I was thinking, I will never do this again. I don't know how I survived. But in actual fact, it's the kind of thing that I would do again. Do you know what I mean? It's the kind of thing I would do again. Yeah, so we are risk takers, right? I'm very good at using my own initiative. People will say that I'm really intelligent, but I just say, you know, I know how to use my brains, okay? Self-starter. I can start anything, but I'm not necessarily a finisher. I can lose interest just like that. So I kind of like stay away from certain things, okay? And I need to know, this is where I need details. I need to know how long this project's going to be, how long it's going to last. If it's going to be a long-term thing, leave me out of it, you know? Or I'll start it for you, then you get somebody else to finish it off, because I know I'm not a finisher, okay? Persistence. If I want something, okay, and you tell me no, you're telling me no today. Okay, you are telling me no today. I'll find a way of getting you to tell me yes. I'll find a way of getting you to tell me yes, right? And yes, I am driven by projects. I put projects over people, and I've seen that in my life. Okay, I used to have a shoe shop. Okay, and I worked 6 days a week in my shoe shop. I had my business there. But I still had my shoe shop, and I worked 6 days a week, and my children had to look after themselves. My sons had to come home, make themselves something to eat. And even when the shoe shop is closed, okay, I'm not coming home because, you know, I've got stuff to do. I won't get home till like 9, 10 o'clock in the night time. When I think about it now, for 2 years I had that shop. For 2 years my children had to look after themselves. I'm surprised they weren't out there robbing people, you know, because I put this project over them. And if they said, and I'd be like, listen, I've got a shop to run and I've got a nursery to run, I can't sit here looking after you all the time. You are big children now, you've got to help me out. Oh, wow, I put the business before my children. So that is kind of like, it could be detrimental for some people, just as well my children's sense. Competitive. So people will say, look, we are competitive. I suppose they are. Yeah, they are. I'm not really competitive. I don't think I'm competitive. Probably in some areas, but not most areas, okay? Because I know what I want, and if I want it, I'm going to have it. I don't care what anybody says, I'm going to have it. So there's no competition about that. No competition about that, yeah? Enjoys challenge. Well, I would say no, I don't, but I think I thrive on it. Because that's my excitement. If there's no challenges, there's no excitement. You know, the Sapphire, they need to be going out, they need to be partying, they need to be clubbing, they need to be out with their friends. But I need anything to do with business is what's gonna, if it's challenging to me, that's what's gonna make me tick. I've got to have a reason to get up and do something in the morning. If I haven't got a reason to get up, I'll stay in my bed all day. You know, but if I've got a reason, I'll get up. My weakness is, and this is so true, I am impatient. If I want it now. Okay? And I've tapered this, but I used to be blunt. I used to be very blunt, but nowadays I take people's feelings, because I'm a people's person, I take people's feelings into consideration, so I'm not as blunt as I could be. However, if you rub me up in the wrong way, you know, I can shut people down. And what I found is, because I've been able to adapt my personality, people now think they can take advantage of me. Yeah. So I would allow you to take that advantage, but once you've crossed that line, you'll know, don't cross it again. You know, I'm very accommodating to people, but I know when people's taking advantage, and I will shut them down. Impulsive, yes, I'm very impulsive. Demanding, yes, I can be very demanding, but demanding in a diplomatic way, okay, in a diplomatic way. I have a lady who works for me who is a ruby, a red person, and she is, when I tell you 100% a ruby, she's 100% a ruby. She is challenging, she is blunt, she's rude, she's harsh, she's impatient, she's everything, okay? And I have to work with her. She has got really, really great skills when it comes to managing the staff, okay? She has 0 personality skills. Yeah, she does not know, she cannot deal with people. So, but she's also the kind of person that she's not teachable. You cannot say to, I've said to her, you know, I've had to say to her, these are my staff, these are my parents, I pay them, don't talk to them like that, right? It's only once I've ever said that to her, in that manner there. And then what I did was I put it in writing so that she knows that I'm not messing about with her, okay? Because she's seen the leaner side of me, she thinks she can usurp her authority over me. Now, I will allow anybody to take charge if you can take charge, okay? That's where I'm not competitive, okay? But don't cross the line. Don't cross. And that's what she does. She pushes the barriers all the time. Oh my God, she is hard work, right? But she's really good at her job. She gets results, right? But I've had this nursery for 6 years, and in the 6 years I've had 3 managers, okay? She's been the best one by far, but you know, people need money to operate their business, okay? The other managers would be like, can you say to the parents, you owe so-and-so, you haven't paid your fees, you haven't paid. They'll be putting the letters in the drawers, not even thrown away, putting the letters in the drawers. And Margaret, she'd be going crazy, what do you think you're doing? You're supposed to give this to these parents, you know? And I'd be like, I'll sort it out. Then I talk to, you know, my housing skills comes into play now. I'll be talking to the parents like, you know, you can't bring your children back if you haven't paid your fees, because, you know, we need the fees to pay the staff. If we don't pay the staff, there's going to be nobody to look after your children. Okay, but she has come in and she stopped all the parents from the increase in arrears. Okay, but she just time. But she just doesn't again you use all the time. I know you used all the time. Okay, and she sapphires, you know, they like to have the microphone. And but she was really good, but she just doesn't really have the good people skills. So I worked with her, and I decided that, well, okay, I'm going to be here every single day, and she's going to learn from me. I can't say I've said to her, this is how I'd like you to be, but she's not doing that. So I've come in, right, and the staff are all, Sonia, 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 Sonia. She doesn't like that because they're not all calling her. So now she's moulding herself and changing herself. And by default, she has admitted to me, oh my gosh, you've changed me. You've changed me. And in my heart, I was like, great, fantastic, you know, and then she'd be like, I don't want to be like you, I don't want to be like you. But deep down, she does want to be like me because she likes the recognition. She likes when, you know, I can ask anybody in my team to do anything, okay? Even if they don't want to do it, because of how I treat them, they will do it, okay? So we just need to know how to treat our people. Once we understand them, we will understand what makes them tick, and we will be able to get the best out of them. Yeah? Yeah, right, so that's me done. Anything you want to ask me?
Just judging from tonight, what would you say we are?
Well, actually, I'll probably say you as Ruby. Okay, but I haven't really had that much interaction with people. I would kind of like say that Shola's either she's either an emerald or she's a yellow. But I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying? Right, and the only reason that is because she's spoken more than anybody else. I had a little bit of a conversation with Millie before, and I don't know, Millie could be a pearl. I don't know, she could be a pearl. You know, I think she's a pearl. You know, a yellow. So, and the reason why I would say that you are a ruby is, you know, people wear different colours. Okay. Us rubies normally always wear black. Normally always wear black, or we normally wear dark colours. Do you know what I mean?
And so, Vanessa.
Vanessa. Vanessa's a cross. She's a cross between an emerald and a pearl.
Yeah. Right, okay.
She's probably more of an emerald because she's a really, really detailed person. Really, really detailed person. But I'd say she's probably a cross between a pearl and an emerald. Patrick, you want to know what Patrick is?
Yes, please.
I mean, look at his shirt, you know.
Oh, gosh.
I know it's a bit dull, but if it was brighter pink, he'd be he's sapphire. You know, he's a sapphire.
Cross, I think, yeah.
Sapphire and what?
Cross.
She's a cross. What you cross between?
Ruby.
Emerald?
That's where you get the line from, because you get the mixture for the different colours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm a mixture.
I'm a cross as
I'm
well.
a mixture. Yeah. And I also think that maybe because your upbringing, your environment, all those other things, they have a play. Because sometimes I see myself in this and I think, no, I'm not that, I'm a bit of that. But I feel that other things have contributed, which are not part of.
Definitely.
True.
Yeah. How you was brought up.
Yeah.
Because I believed that when I was young, I believed that I was a pearl. I believed that I was a pearl. But the things that have happened to me in life has groomed me into being a ruby. So now that I'm older and I'm more wiser than that, I think I'm probably going back to being a pearl. You know, so that's why I think
I think I'm in between. I'm in between. I'm not there, and I'm not there.
she's not admitting. She's a pearl. She's a pearl. She's not admitted she's a pearl.
I used to be when I was young.
Yeah.
I lived that, yes,
Okay.
very much so. But certain experiences mean
She requires a lot of detail. Since I've come here, since I've been here, okay, but even before Patrick started, Millie has been writing.
Right.
She's been writing before the session started, so I would say she's got emeralds in her. Writing. What's she going to say?
I was going to say, do you regret?
Yeah.
I have to ask this because
Yeah.
you're where I think I'm going to end up in 5 or 10 years. In the sense of,
Yeah.
do you regret being self-reliant and not having loads of friends around you now?
No.
Would you have done it any different?
I've never thought of it like that. Because I kind of like accept myself for what I am, and if I, back in 2000, okay, this a manager, he was a human resources manager in the company that I worked for. He said to me one day, "Sonia, I feel like you're in my face." I worked in East Dulwich and he worked in Tooting. He said, "Even though I'm on the phone to you, I feel like you're a few inches away from my face." Okay? He said, "Not everybody likes it, don't do it. Don't do it." I said, "Well, this is me, this is how I am." He said, "Yeah, but you intimidate people, I've seen you in action, I've seen you in full flow." He said, "People don't like it. Just think about it." And I thought to myself, wow, okay, if he doesn't like it, other people wouldn't like it. So I started changing. So how I am now is how I've groomed myself to be. So I wouldn't say that I would change myself. There are some things in life that I've done that I thought, well, I shouldn't have done. But your experiences are what groom you for your future. And if you don't make any mistakes, if you don't have any accidents, if you don't fail at anything, you're never going to be anything. There's nothing for you to learn from. Millie, was you going to say something?
No, I'm just looking at these and, because I think about, like, where certain childhood clash, like my son.
Yeah.
As a scientist, there are times when we come into some kind of conflict, I can understand where he's coming from. And he likes to have what he calls debates. I call them arguments.
Yeah.
He calls them debates.
Yeah. Okay. I've got, in my children, I've got 2 emeralds or 2 greens. I've got 1 sapphire, that's all you ever need in any house, believe me. And 1 ruby, okay? And if you understand your children and understand their personalities, you'll be able to groom them. Now my son, okay, he's a ruby. We're both the same. And I said, tidy room, tidy room, tidy room, tidy room. He doesn't respond to that because we don't like to be told. I will do anything that anybody asks me to do. Don't tell me to do it. You ask, I will come to you and I will ask you, I will give you respect. I give my children respect. Sometimes I say to them, I give you lot too much respect. So I ask him, right? And you talk about debates, and I'll tell him what the benefits are. And sometimes we need to know what the benefits are. These are the benefits of you tidying up your bedroom. And I'll tell him, when you get old, you'll be able to be self-reliant. You won't need to rely on a woman. You'll be able to cook for yourself. And stuff like that, and then he'll say, "Yes, Mum, okay, I'll do it." Sometimes I'll say to him, "Well, look, you don't like it when I shout and carry on like a loony, so don't lead me down that path there. I'm asking you nicely, the least you could do is respect it and just do it, okay?" Then there's my other son, he's an emerald. I don't need to ask him anything. He will just do this, blah, blah, blah. He does things better than I am. I think I'm quite an untidy person, okay? And I need that emerald. One day he put a notice on my door, and it said, "God works upon the desires of your heart," okay? Proper laminated and stuck to my door. God works upon the desires of your heart, right? Because I am so busy. I'm so project orientated that if that's my world, if I've got a new project to do, I'm I'll be up at 6 or 5 o'clock in the morning on the computer doing this, doing everything. I haven't got time for housework. I haven't got time. And I'll take out this paper, that paper. If I'm going to church, I'll say the night before, "Yeah, I'm going to wear so-and-so." And in the morning, I'll take out that, take out that, take out that. And it's all going to stay at the edge of the bed or wherever it is, And my son came in my room, right, and he tidied up everything. Right, everything. The sign said, "God works upon the desires of your heart." And I'll be like, "Oh God, if only I could get somebody to come and tidy my bedroom, then I'd better." But if somebody came to tidy my bedroom, I wouldn't know where anything is. But because he knows me, where I put my stuff, he tidied up everything. And so, Mum, I don't want to see it like that again. Now he puts a lock on his door, because he doesn't want us in there. Don't, you're not allowed to have your shoes. He's so particular, it's unbelievable. Right? Yeah. And then there's the Ruby. He doesn't care. You know, you can do anything, go into his room, relax, kick off your shoes, anything, he doesn't care. But you can't sit on Phil's bed, especially if you've had your work clothes on.
like that.
Yeah, he's very particular. My other daughter, she's the same. The Sapphire, she's like just crazy. If you ever meet her, she's just like crazy. She's got tattoos all over. She doesn't need all these tattoos. She's got them all over, you know. And she's quite a big girl, and she's got long hair, natural hair, but she still puts weaves in, and she might dye it some funky colours or whatever. She just can't help herself, and she's fantastic when she talk about going out, and she enjoys herself. You know, but in order to when she was young, I didn't understand her personality, and I just thought she was being lazy and rebellious and all that stuff there. But now I know. I said to her, right, Chevrolet, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to type out a regime for you to do, and this is because her house is chaos. Okay, I'm going to type it out, and then this is how you're going to help yourself. You know, and that's what I do, right? I have lists and times. When I wanted to get myself out of my chaos, right, I'd write, okay, today this is what I've got to do by this time. Go to this shop. Spend such and such amount of time in there, that shop, and that's how I have to operate. It's otherwise, I use my phone like that all the time. It's otherwise I can't function properly.
True.
Wow. Y'all.
Very interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sonia. She was my mentor now. We took her to a conference once. She learned loads of these things, and that was it. Boom, she got her teeth into it, she began to study, she began to go into it, and then bam, she was into these things because it was an area of interest that she wasn't aware of prior to that. And now loves it, and she's done it with such passionate enthusiasm. And she'll take on projects and things like just like that. And if it's income generating again, she's in it. Awesome. And now she's an inspiration to me. The only thing I can't get to stop now, I'll shut up and get down.
Who's talking?
I know. He's sitting there and he's going, time.
I'm glad you told these.
Listen, let me tell you something, okay? 9, 8, probably about 7 years ago, she would be scared to come.
Yeah, I remember filming that.
Yeah.
She would be shaking
Delete
like
the
a leaf.
DVD.
Shaking like a leaf. And we had to work on her, push her, and techniques and now you can't shut her up because she was so far the other way, terrified. She started sweating, getting nervous, started chewing, started to do this, and escape, and would just try and dodge and run. And over years we pulled her in and muddled her and make her and push this, we squeeze that, and give her strategies, and she's just awesome. And the thing is, it's so good to see when you mentor people and they just come, whoa, and just take you over, and then they begin to mentor other people. It's just lovely, just different generation. You think, there's my child, and these are my grandchildren. And she's typed them all out and put them together for us. Isn't that awesome?
She's very good at that.
Yes,
That's what I was saying about, earlier, like in my life before, because I was just thinking the other day, that when I was in my early 20s after I finished university, I was still quite shy. And I remember Brixton Women's Group, I went there for over like 2 years. I never seen a dicky bird. I went to all the meetings with all these fiery women's libbers and everybody. And I sat there, I didn't say a single word. I was so shy and nervous and everything. But later on, different experiences,
Absolutely.
becoming a lecturer, senior lecturer, running programs and doing other things. All the fear and all that kind of stuff. So I'm saying I'm moving from one to something else.
Awesome. I think to help encourage her and put various strategies in, if she went in depth and her had more time, then you'd see from how she came out of her shell. And I remember one program that she went on, a speaking engagement we put on, and she started by saying, you know, my name's Sonia, my husband left me when I was I never believe that.
Oh, yeah, they do that, yeah.
But as she went on, that's when she started to live. That's when she starts to become who was that inner person and develop. And the journey it's been so fast, so quick, because you have natural abilities within you, but there are blockers to your progression, things in life that hold you back and block you. And you mentioned about fears and how they paralyze you and keep you in one place for years.
And that is me, I'm telling you, that is me. Fear can grip me like that, innit? Really can.
And she's breaking off the shackles, and she's made so much progress over such a short space of time. I'm just blown away. Really am. I'm just so proud of her. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you very much. I was, no, the thing is, I asked her to go on much earlier. I was going to put her, oh, no, you. Do you know what? And I should have remembered, you know, I should have remembered that Sonia would just go on and on. But it's brilliant stuff.
You always take up time.
Yeah.
Always.
So now I try never to be on the same stage as her. She just got so much in her, you know? Fantastic. And we really enjoyed what she said. Yeah. That's so crucial to building a team. So crucial, having the right mixes. And exactly how you say, as soon as you become aware of traits, personalities, and know what they are, you can then begin to mould and manipulate.
One thing I wrote on there, but I didn't actually share, I know we've run out of time.
See that side?
I wrote on here, form, okay, right, and if you're having a conversation with somebody and you haven't actually met them before, okay, these are things that you can talk about, okay, F-O-R-M, okay, and if you're meeting somebody for the first time, oh, the first one is family. You can talk about people's family, yeah? Yeah, right? If you're talking to a woman, she always loves to talk about her children. Yeah, normally. Always loves to talk about their children. Okay, right? Or are you married? Got a husband? How many children do you have? Your parents? Okay, so that's all. That's a big one. Okay. Then there's O, right? For occupation. What do you do? Where do you work? Okay. And
as Sonia said before, you know, everything, if we went to about housing, she was not interested.
yeah, and you've got to show other people interest, okay? If you don't allow people, some people think they've got to take the airspace all the time, okay? But you've got to listen to people, okay? And although my characteristic is that I'm impatient, I don't like listening to people, I'm an extremely good listener, okay? Extremely good. Even if we're joking, I can take what's serious. I can find out what is really important to you, okay? And so, if you ask them about what they do in their spare time, you know, do you go to clubs, do you go to church? You know, when you came in, I asked you, do you go to church? You know, I was trying to find a common denominator for us so that we can have a conversation. All right, so find out what they do in their spare time. It's called recreation. And then afterwards, there's going to be a message, right? So by the time you've got through to the first 3 stages, right, you've built up some kind of rapport, and that should take you into anything else that you want to talk about. And if you do this to everybody that you meet, right, you will be able to find out what trait they fall under. Yeah, what personality trait they fall under. That's the easy way of doing it. Have a conversation with them. Okay. There was this lady in my company who worked for me, and I didn't actually know, because I was at my shoe shop all the time. Now I had some staff who I didn't actually know. I interviewed her, gave her the job, and after that, because I wasn't there, okay. And one day something happened, and I had to, speak to her about it, and I didn't actually know her, so I had to talk to her about all this, okay. And I wanted to find out where she was coming from, where her mentality was, right? And also what I put in it, I'm not saying that you should do this, right? But I put on it culture, and I put on it class, okay? Because sometimes, right, people put themselves, we do, not sometimes, we put ourselves into certain barriers, into, certain brackets, that's it. And she had put herself into a middle class bracket. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, okay? But, I class myself as a working class person. She saw herself as superior to everybody else, and that's what the problem was. Okay? So if you indulge in communication with people, you'll find out what the underlying reason or problem or is with these people. Okay?
Absolutely. And that is don't rub it out. That is the basis of any conversation.
Yeah.
Especially in business, or when we have a
Networking?
that is an easy way to